and welcome to the channel Seen with Chips. If you've been here before, then welcome back. If you haven't been here before, then please consider subscribing and pressing the bell button so you can be notified of videos I'm making for the rest of the year. There you go then. Right, well, what's happening this time on this video is I'm going to ride down to Jed, the mechanic in Anglesey, to Hog Farm, the Harley Davidson specialist, and I'm going to get my bike on a 10,000 mile service, but that's not what we're going to make the video of today. Jed's told me that he's got some interesting bikes in at the moment that he's working on, nothing modern, lots of old bikes, and he's talking about changing is it the starter motor or is it the solenoid? The starter solenoid, I think, on a 43-year-old Tour Glide, which should be interesting. So anyway, he's going to service my bike first, obviously, and then we're going to have a look at the starter solenoid on this Tour Glide. So I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get on down there.
So yeah, as Steve said there, 42-year-old, 43-year-old FLH bike we had in probably 8-9 years ago. Never really worked on it since. It's been somewhere else. It's actually been somewhere else now prior to it coming in a couple of weeks ago, and they couldn't get to the bottom of it. Intermittent starting and then no starting. We've diagnosed it down. We've tested the starter motor. It's a replacement starter motor at some time, but it's a starter motor, a little bit different to what anybody that's used to looking at new stuff. It has the starter motor in the end, and then the drive of the starter motor that then drives on a big drive cog, which you can see showing you there on the shaft. So the end of this shaft here locates into here, and then the gears driven on it. A lot different to what modern day ones are today. It's just a single unit. So what this has, it constantly drives, but then doesn't have a centrifugal throw out onto the clutch. This has a solenoid, which is the replacement.
So is that electrical solenoid?
Yeah, it's an electrical solenoid. It's basically like a big switch. So once the voltage comes into it, it holds it in. That's also almost like a magnet, sucks it in and holds it, and then when you press your starter motor, it releases it out. We'll show you, and it throws the cog out onto the ring gear itself. The one that was on this has been rebuilt, and they've obviously got it wrong somewhere along the line. It's only been on a couple of weeks and not done. So this is actually a brand new unit. They're just not worth rebuilding them. You can buy a kit. It's 14 quid for the kit. They don't seem to last too long, and something 40-year-old and electrical is probably worth replacing it, which is what the owner of this bike's decided to do. So we'll just show you how this works differently to a more modern one of today. Not today's version, even going back 30 years, they changed from this. I'll show you on the other side, show you in the primary side. So obviously you're in the primary side of the bike here, everybody's familiar with the clutch and everything, but the difference is here, on a more up-to-date one, you'd have the conventional throw out, which would go onto the ring gear here, which would be this, but what we've got here is the starter solenoid comes through here and then activates this part of it here. I'll try and hold it and replicate it for you. So it throws it.
So that throws it out onto the cog.
Yeah, it throws it out and then starts it like that.
So it engages with the cog.
Yeah, and that's
and
it.
And throws it round like the kickstart would do.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like one generation up from a kickstart. We've got the kickstart, and then they've started to fit electric starters on them. And this is the variants that they're sort of learning to come to the next generation that they've never really changed from then. They've just improved the starter motors and stuff like that. Yeah. They are very problematic, these. They really are. There is a bit of a sneaky bit with them. They come with a washer, and this washer usually, it's a shim stroke washer, it's a shim really. Usually is always missing. When I go into these, they're always missing this shim, and everybody kind of puts it in the wrong place of the casing, which is a bit of a false thing. When it's actually sat in the casing, it sits, the end of this shaft here sits within this bearing here, and this sits here. And you can imagine it does that when you're trying to put it together, and the amount of them that you find in the bottom that they haven't got it right. And the simplest thing is you just actually sit it on the shaft, so simply, and then put the case on. But people will put a bit of grease on, a bit of super glue on, a bit of silicone, all sorts of silly things, but usually it ends up in the bottom. But yeah, it's a bit of a just put it on and away you go. So we'd actually just put it on. So we're going to put the solenoid in. Now these solenoids come through. Steve just stays there 1 second. I'll show you something. If you've got one of these and you're looking at it and you're wondering why, and this will show you on the other side. This is a new replacement boot, and the leak on these boots horribly. This was one of the biggest areas of leakage because there's kind of no seal. This sits in, and they leak. They leak on top of the gearbox, and then it'll fill the castellation, and then it'll run down the back. And over many years of thinking, where the hell's it leaking? Where's it leaking? Where's it leaking? It's always these damn things. So we always put some silicone on there, some obviously engine silicone on it, and we put a little smear on there and then pop it in. So we basically stick it in, and it really does stop them leaking. But we've looked at seals and the main seals and everything, and it's always these damn things that leak. New or old, it'll still leak. It'll find its way out because it's constantly getting sprayed with the primary oil off the chain. Obviously it's running through there, and it comes up. It's this shaft here, this part, because this part, you'll see it, this part comes through. The tricky part of this is you depress this, come through, and then put the pins in, and it locks in here, so it's constantly in an oil, and then it just migrates its way out. So you end up with no primary oil in it. Ultimately it's drip 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 on the floor. So this is the whole tricky bit of putting the damn thing in. The rest of it's just bolting, connect the wires up, but this silly little thing, they've never changed it. It's always been, but it's a two-handed job that you can't even get one hand in. It's really stupid, but it works, and it works well. So yeah, we'll bolt it in from the other side. There's not much to look at really. It was more a video just to show you something different as to what else we can look at and give you a video on. It maybe not something you're ever going to do or ever see, but sometimes people have never seen how the old style stuff works.
Just as an aside, Jed, I mean, this is a 43-year-old bike.
Yeah.
And with the cover off there, it looks in pretty good nick in there. It just, to me, it does. I mean, is that what you would expect it to look like for a 43-year-old bike?
It is, because you've got to remember, it's sealed.
And it's covered in oil.
It's covered in oil permanently. It's running in oil. There is it has extensively had problems.
Has it?
Well, I just said to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Straight away we took the cover off, and the clutch spring plate, this, is not actually the correct one, because it's sitting outside and it's not the correct one, but it works. So somebody's obviously been in and sort of couldn't get that plate, or they didn't have that plate, or whatever, or they've put a new clutch in it, and they put that plate on, and it works. And that's a good thing. You can over-adapt and you can adapt and overcome. That's the saying, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been looked after. It's you can see the state of it. It's been used.
It's an old bike.
It's an old bike. It's an old bike. But it's still running. It's still on the road. The owner of it still runs it, which is great. But you do get these, and unfortunately, on any sort of bike, usually with the old stuff of this generation and this era, it's always sort of stupid electrical problems that they break down with. Even though when you look at this, it's so primeval and nothing. There's nothing there. Today's one, we whipped on your bike yesterday, and this is just rammed full of electronics, and you look at this and you think, what can go wrong? But they do. The biggest issue with these is, even you can kind of see on this one, it's an area that with age it'll rub, and it'll rub the wire through on a corner, and then you'll get a short. And that's where, and they're the tricky ones. I think it's like
trying to find them.
You get used to them after a while, and you find them. Which is really good. This is the starter. This is the relay for actually the starter motor. What we're working on now, you can see that that's been replaced at some time. Always on these was always a starting issue. Always, that's where they sort of broke down, was electrical starting issues.
Right.
But yeah, we're obviously going to put new gaskets on it. The ironic thing is, you put new gaskets on, flipping gaskets, that gasket's £70.
Wow.
Which is ridiculous. It's, you know, it's a good quality one.
Yeah.
But yeah, new gaskets, you put new gaskets, new seals in it on. Fond believer of that, not reusing the old.
Oh, you can't reuse a gasket, can you?
We do now and again, but it's got to be absolute desperation to use it again, because they come back and bite you.
Yeah.
They'll come back and bite you again, and they'll be leaking oil, and of course it's your fault then, because
Yeah.
you were the last man in there. Last man in there, and it's your fault you didn't put a new gasket on.
Yeah.
But it is, and they're getting more and more sought after really now as a bike. You know,
The older bikes.
The older
Yeah.
bikes are becoming more collectible. People want them. People want to restore them. It's always nice to see them. This hasn't been over molested,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's spent a lot of time being cherished and loved. It needs a bit more cherish and loving now. Maybe, you know, when we get it running a bit more reliable, he'll do it.
Yeah.
And do it. I think he just wants a reliable bike that'll
I
start.
think that's the thing. Once you get the engine that is all reliable, you start to play with the aesthetics, don't you? But it's got to start running first.
Yeah. It's a really good, strong engine. This. It's always just been a starting issue that I think he's always been worried that he can't start it. The beauty with these is you can start them, you can bump start them, which is, you know, they are easy to bump start, obviously when you know how to do it, but you know, you can bump these. We can't bump start the new ones. You know,
Right.
Electronic ignition and everything, no battery, no start. These
You
can
can't
bump
do it.
them. No, you can't do it. You still need a battery there, but you can bump these. Starter motor problems with these. If you obviously you've got to have the electrics, but if you've got a starter motor problem, you can still bump them.
Right.
Which is obviously you need a battery. But there. So we'll put this together. I don't know how much of it is worth sort of filming. We might put a little bit together and then show you.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, come back as we stagely put it back in together. We'll just show you the other side of where I was saying about the oil leak before we do anything.
Okay.
Because you'll see the puddling bit. So if you can actually see in here, it's running in oil, which it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is where they leak. They always leak. So that's the back side of that where it's going to be received now into there. Sorry, caught the camera. Where it's going. So we'll put some silicone in that and then just stick it in.
Right.
It's a poor seal. Always was a poor seal. So we'll do that and then connect the wires up.
So where's that oil coming from?
It's coming out of this hole where the solenoid goes.
Right.
It's running down and sitting on top of the gearbox. But what normally happens is this well is full of oil. And then, of course, you'll lean your bike one way or the other way, and it'll run out, and you'll think, oh, I've got an oil leak over here, I've got an oil leak on my gearbox, blah, blah, blah. But it's not. It's always that damn thing.
Right.
It's crazy. It really is. So, yeah, starter motor. This is the starter motor that's going back in.
Yeah.
Which we've tested. It's good, solid starter motor. The problem he's got is not the starter motor. We did track it down to the solenoid was taking the power in at one side, hitting the start button, which is, let's show that a little bit better. So straight off the battery comes to here, and then straight off the solenoid, straight to the starter motor, which is power again, comes to here. And this is like the switch wire from your handlebars. Click that, activates the solenoid,
pushes it across through.
Yeah, lets it go, and then power goes through it. So it's a switch.
Yeah.
It's a fancy big switch.
Yeah.
I've actually seen many times it been removed and they've actually put a switch in, which is super stupid and dangerous, but I've seen it done that way because they can't get this bit set up right. Yeah, so we'll show you that bit. Obviously, we're just going to bolt it in and we're just going to bolt this in and then set it up and then pray and hope we're right. If you're watching this, it's going to start. If you're not watching it, it's not going to start.
Okay. Well, what we've got back in place here is the starter motor and the solenoid is in position, and how this will come out and engage with these cogs here on the starter motor. So we're just going to try and see whether that is active before everything gets put back together, but it seems to be coming together quite nicely.
So yeah, we got it back together. It wasn't too interesting to film. Obviously you can see the starter motor through, just 2 bolts holding it, and then the new solenoid which we've put in, and as you can quite plainly see, hopefully, see the main feed coming in. This lead is a feed is off the main lead again, but it's a feed to auxiliary other parts, and then they're coming out and the switch lead on it. all that into place, and then all meshed up again within the primary side. So we've got to put. We'll go around the other side. You know, around the other side, Steve.
Okay.
Obviously, we've got to put the primary case back on, because the shaft comes through to here, to this part of the casting here, and if we don't put it back in, it's not in line. So if we were to actually test it, it would throw out at a wonk and probably smash some gears or whatever. So we can't prove anything now. We're gonna hopefully we've put it back together. It's dry at the minute. There's no oil in it, but it's all bolted back together. We can try and start it. If it starts, then yeah, we got the diagnosis right, and we're good to go. So we're at that point now. It's either it will or it won't, and we're right. We don't know.
So are you gonna have a go?
We'll have a go.
Yeah.
See if we get it right. So choke,
Fuel.
Just lower the bike down a little bit. I'm getting shorter in my old age now. I can't reach anymore. So we'll
Okay, the moment of truth.
yeah,
Let's see what happens.
She hasn't run for a long while, so it might cough and splutter. I don't know what it'll do. If we got lights on, switch on, a few squirts.
Oh my goodness. Wow. The diagnosis was right.
We were right.
Yeah.
And it still works as well. That's amazing. It started well, didn't it?
It did, didn't it?
So,
That started first time.
And so that's another one done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? We don't ever work, that's rubbish, isn't it? I mean, we'll just have a look round. We've got another one's coming today, and we're working on old ones, I think, now.
It seems, although you did do mine yesterday, which is a 2023 bike, of course. So that's the most modern one in here at the moment.
So we've got 43-year-old. I think this one's 40. What are we on this? This is 44.
This is a 95 bike.
Yeah, so this is 41.
Yeah.
And then we've got a P-Reg.
That's a 96.
Yeah, and I don't know what we've got down there. What are them down there, Steve? There. Well, that one's a 99.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's making a change. And
yeah.
Of course, Elvis is back. Elvis is in the building.
Yeah.
Elvis is back. Unfortunately, a little bit of a sad story, and I know we never put the video of this, the building of this one, but yeah, Elvis has run into a wall, unfortunately, and
so that means that Elvis is back in the building.
Elvis is back. Yeah, he's having to his front fender repaint and chroma. Something interesting there, Steve. It's 10-year-old this bike, and the fork legs are no longer available from Harley Davidson.
That's incredible, isn't it?
We can't get replacement lower leg in chrome. In chrome. It's no longer available.
So what do you've sent the leg away, haven't you, to Birmingham or something?
Yeah, to Birmingham to new chromers. We're going to try and get it polished. We think it'll polish and re-chrome, hopefully. Yeah. And then paint. We're going to do the paint work, redo Elvis, replace the lens on the headlight. That's scratched.
That looks like a new headlight as well.
It is. It's actually not that old. I don't think it's 12 months old.
Oh no.
Which is really sad. These crash bars. We did the crash bars last year as well. We said, you got this expensive paint work, be very careful. So we put crash bars on, and it saved the bike. Yeah. It scratched it a little bit underneath, which we're going to leave. It's so far underneath that he's not too bothered about it. Yeah. So yeah, Elvis is alive still. He still keeps returning. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, so there you go. So we got the diagnosis right. Yep. And it's running. So this one's in. This is not charging. It's not charging. It's not coming back. I've put the diagnostics on it. So we are getting the electrics out of the stator, which is here, for those that don't know. But the voltage regulator is packed up. Very common fault, to be fair, on the older stuff. Very, very common fault. Interesting story with this one. Everybody actually thinks it's pink, but it's actually faded in the sun. Really? It's faded in the sun. It was an orange colour. When you take the seat off, the back bit, it's completely different colour. Keep winding the customer up saying he's got a pinky girly vibe. Getting in touch with his feminine side. It is. It's all original. This was an interesting one. We recommissioned this last year. It had been in his garage for about 10 years. Never run, didn't do anything, wouldn't start, looked really, really shabby. So he brought it to us, and we put it back on the road for him. And he loves it now. He's got the same bike as you, and he's torn between each bike.
Yeah, which one to ride?
Which to ride depends which way the wind's blowing as to which one he rides.
Yeah.
So he's out of man. I was just saying to Steve, he's got the same bike as Steve, and the gentleman that owns it, 74-year-old, does 10,000 miles a year on it.
Wow.
Every year he comes in, twice a year he comes in.
I mean, I thought I was doing well at 5,000 miles a year, but 10,000 is a lot of riding.
And he's never been off the island.
Really?
He's never been off the island.
No.
He never goes off the island. He just
No.
knows his way right
around the island. Yeah, I'm sure he does. Yeah.
He finds his way back home every time. So if I keep going, I'll end up at home.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, I hope that has been an interesting video. It's just interesting to see. We've got trouble coming in. We've got trouble coming in, spoiling the video.
Oh no.
No. So
we told him we were filming. We got all the signs up, and they're still coming and ruining.
Yeah. So you're now on video.
Bye.
So yeah, that's the just down here looking at I came down here for my 10,000 mile service, but just interesting to see what bikes Jed's got in here now and he's working on, and looking at that old bike with the starter solenoid is quite interesting. It's really interesting to watch and see just how that was fixed, and there we go, it started first time. Fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.